What's going on, guys? I'm Harry Pinecones, and I am so excited to share this one with you all. This is Mother's Favorite. The dev reached out to me and told me a little bit about the game and asked me to play it. This is a sci-fi horror visual novel, and right off the bat, I can tell the amount of love and effort that went into this just from the main menu alone, because this is a really cool effect. But real quick, we do have a couple content warnings on the screen just to give everyone a heads up as to what topics and subjects might be a little sensitive for some folks. Before we start this adventure, be sure to subscribe for some more horror games, both novels and other genres, like the video, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon down in the description with a loose plan for some merch in January or February of the new year. With that said, let's see who is Mother's Favorite. I've started dreaming again. In my dreams, I feel safe. Safe from everything waiting for me when I wake up. I can't remember the last time I had a dream like this. My memory has gotten so bad. It could have been weeks, months, or maybe even years since the last one. Although they bring me comfort, I know that I shouldn't be having these dreams. The medical reports say that most patients started having vivid dreams and hallucinations right before the virus entered its final stage. Less than a month later, every single case resulted in death. I think tomorrow is going to be my last birthday. Mother says I should be grateful since most infected individuals would have given anything to live half as long as I have. 18 years doesn't exactly feel like much of an accomplishment. I was born here, aboard the Quarantine Station 388 SR. This place is devoid of other patients, and the staff is fully automated. I have lived my whole life without seeing another person like me. Mother says that this station was built to house over 3,000 people, offering round-the-clock hospice care until a cure could be found. This place was supposed to be the sanctuary for those awaiting a brighter future. But everyone else is dead now. I'm all that's left. While I still have time, I keep dreaming about my lake. I don't know how many times I've had this exact dream, but I never get tired of it. Everything about it feels so real. From the warm sun on my skin to the soft sand in between my toes, I can feel a gentle breeze caressing my face, and I can hear the rustling of leaves all around me. I open my eyes and I can see it, the only thing in the whole universe I deem worthy of the word perfect. In my dreams, I am standing on the shore of a vast lake. The water is dark and deep, reflecting the golden rays coming from the setting sun peeking just over the distant tree line. I am hypnotized by the noise each crashing wave creates, lost in the chaotic wall of white noise. It drowns out all the awful thoughts that normally buzz around in my brain. There are no claustrophobic rooms, no blinking lights, and no rattling old air filters. In every direction, the world sprawls infinitely, a canvas of hazy colors ablaze in the sun. In my dreams, I am free. Eventually, I'm going to have to wake up. I'll be back to the biting metallic cold that permeates deep into my bones, where it settles into my blood like a poison. Sometimes, when I'm feeling brave, I pretend that this isn't just a dream. I entertain the idea that this might actually be a memory. It's dangerous to pretend like that, not when it comes to my own memories. My sickness comes with a long list of horrible symptoms: fatigue, nausea, migraines, anemia, seizures, frequent bruising and bleeding. But worst of all is the memory loss. Each day I can feel it getting worse. I can still remember the big things, important stuff like my name, my birthday, my favorite color. My name is Fourth, My birthday is tomorrow, and my favorite color is orange. That stuff is easy. What hurts the most is all the little things I don't even realize I'm forgetting. I lay on my bed and struggle to remember what happened a year ago, a month ago, sometimes even what happened just the day before. Every night, it feels like there is a tiny hole in the back of my head, and everything that makes me human is dripping out onto the floor. One drop might not seem like the end of the universe, but some nights I swear I can feel the empty, echoing space inside my skull where a person used to be. I don't want the dream to end. I don't want to wake up for another day on this stupid station. I don't want to smile like a good little girl and act like nothing has gone horribly wrong with my family. What do I do? I could always say that I don't want to die, but I know that isn't an option anymore. The sickness is getting worse. My dreams are proof of that. The one thing I want more than anything else in the universe is to see my lake once more before I lose myself entirely. It doesn't have to be the exact same lake in my dream. I don't even think that lake truly exists. It's just a collection of images I've seen in drawings and photos. But somewhere out there in the vastness of space is a lake. A place where I can let myself fade away and die happy. I'm going to find my lake, and I'm going to get off this station. My dream starts to fade, and I brace myself for what comes. The first of 3 morning alarms goes off, so I rub the sleep from my eyes and get out of bed. In the dark, I change out of my pajamas and put them down the dirty clothes chute. By the time I come back to my room, my pajamas will be waiting for me, clean and ready to wear again. I open my closet and pull out the only outfit I am permitted to wear, a large, fluffy dress with a button-up blouse and long, flowing shawl to wrap around my arms. No matter how dirty or damaged my outfit gets during the day, it reappears in my closet each morning, cleaned and fully repaired. I actually started ripping up my dress on purpose to get my hands on any fabric or thread I might need later. It proved very useful for making my own bandages, especially whenever Mother refused to treat my wounds. My hand instinctively goes to my right shoulder, the muscle still sore from what happened last night. The injury happened over a week ago, but the pain is still fresh in my mind. I've read the manuals for each of the other caretakers. Directly harming a patient is supposed to be forbidden, but I guess Mother doesn't have to listen to those rules anymore. The next step in my morning routine is to take my weight and vitals. I step up onto a small metal dais and place my hands on the round metal device. A small beep lets me know the scan is complete. After that, I head to the bathroom. The second alarm goes off, warning me that I only have a few minutes until little brother comes to collect me. The lights switch on, and I am able to see my own face in the bathroom mirror. I quickly brush my teeth and wash my face in the sink. I take some time to look into the mirror at the sad, tired stranger who looks back at me. I take a deep breath and practice one of the many fake smiles I will have to wear today. Good morning, little brother. How are you this morning? I clear my throat and try again, more sincerely this time. Good morning, little brother. How are you this morning? That should be good enough. No matter how I am feeling inside, my behavior has to remain as polite as possible. This is exhausting. I risk pulling up my sleeve to look at the ugly bruise on my shoulder, a grim reminder of why I can't let my emotions show again. Mother doesn't like it when The third alarm goes off, startling me out of my thoughts. I can already hear little brother calling to me from outside my bedroom door. Oh, Fourth, my darling sister, guess what time it is? I'll be right there, little brother. My voice is already shaky. I know little brother won't hurt me, but that doesn't mean I can let my guard down around him. I walk to the front door and straighten out my dress. I take in one last deep breath right as the door hisses open. A large blue robot dashes into the room, his spindly arms flailing about to keep his balance. Good morning to my incredible sister Fourth. It is me, your favorite little brother. Morning, little brother. How are you this morning? I am just peachy, now that I get to see you, Fourth. Are you ready for another fun-filled day of safe recreational activities? My smile feels a little less forced whenever I talk to little brother. His enthusiasm might feel a little fake, but he doesn't seem to know any other way to act. The tiny plaque on the back of his head tells me that he is a G7 long-term medical care companion unit. His specific model is designed for infant and child entertainment and enrichment. His job is to watch over me during the day and report any changes in my health to Mother. I have to watch what I say around him, just in case. Of course, little brother. I'm ready when you are. Oh boy, this is going to be a great day, just like yesterday, and just like tomorrow. Well, not exactly like tomorrow, right? I am sorry, Fourth. I did not understand what you just said. Please clarify your statement. Tomorrow is my birthday. I thought we were going to have a party like we always do. Now I understand. Of course we are going to do something special for your birthday. Exactly 17 years, 364 days, 6 hours, and 10 minutes ago, I got introduced to the best little sister in the whole wide universe. I will never forget how small and loud you were. You are much larger and much quieter now. I am so proud of you. Thanks for the compliment? You are very welcome, my darling little Fourth. Have you ever found it odd that you're technically older than me, but we still call you little brother? Oh, Fourth, you are so silly. Even if I am older than you, I will always be your fun and lovable little brother. We better get moving before Auntie starts to wonder what is taking us so long. With that, little brother zooms out of my room and down the hallway towards the kitchen. I try to mimic his enthusiasm and follow after him. The floors of the space station are always cold, and it bites at the soles of my feet as we walk. There are no windows in any of the rooms I am permitted to explore, and the flickering lights overhead turn everything a washed-out shade of blue. Each hallway is an identical gray metal tube. Every room is the same little claustrophobic box. Nothing ever changes here, nothing except me. In my mind, the lake is always moving. The crashing waves, the swaying trees, and the billowing clouds. It all breathes in a way that the station never could. For a moment, I start to close my eyes. My lake slowly comes into focus through the dark. Fourth, are you listening? I just asked you a question. What? Oh, My heart rate picks up as a hint of panic crawls up my throat. During my little daydream, I completely missed what little brother had just said. I was just thinking about, Is something the matter, my dear Fourth? You are speaking in an unorthodox manner. Should I tell him about my dreams? Anything I tell little brother might end up in his next report to Mother. Maybe I should just stay quiet about this. We gotta play it safe. I open my mouth, but no sound comes out. Little brother monitors every little aspect of my behavior. I don't think I should be talking about something so strange. Mother might change my medications again, and that would mean a whole new round of awful side effects. I remember the time I kept telling knock-knock jokes, and she said I was acting too hyper. The medication she gave me right after that caused the worst headaches I've ever had. 4th? Oh, I was just thinking about my birthday. That is only logical. Birthdays only come once a year. Thank you for telling me what was on your mind. It is my directive to monitor all changes in your behavior. I appreciate your honesty. Yeah. We keep walking until we reach the door to the kitchen. Enjoy your breakfast, my darling baby sister. I will be right outside the door if you need anything. Thank you, little brother. With that, little brother steps into his charging station next to the door and goes silent. The hallway suddenly feels very empty without little brother's cheerful beeping. I straighten out my dress and walk into the kitchen. As soon as I walk through the door, I am hit with the smell of cold, wet vegetables and fresh blood. I didn't have time to properly prepare myself, and I have to resist gagging a little. Even though Auntie calls this room her kitchen, not a lot of cooking actually happens here. The pots and pans hanging on the wall have never been used, and all the big industrial stovetops don't have any power. In fact, the only thing that works in here is the gigantic sink, and only for drinking water. Auntie's food synthesizers do all the cooking, so this room has always felt a little redundant to me. There are 2 doors in the kitchen. One leads back to the hallway I just came from. The other leads towards the atrium and Big Sister's side of the station. A large chute in the middle of the dining table slides open, and with a series of excited beeps, Auntie flies into the room. Welcome back, 4th. I hope you have been a good girl and properly digested everything I served you yesterday. Yes, Auntie. I'm ready for another delicious meal with you. Oh, 4th, you know just what to say to make this old robot feel brand new. I will take extra care to make sure this next meal is especially nutritious, just for you. I mean, I was going to make your breakfast nutritious either way, but we can both pretend that this particular meal is a little more special than normal. No harm in that, right? Thank you, Auntie. I can't wait. While I might not be too thrilled about her cooking, I can't bring myself to hate Auntie. Her programming seems to be a little simpler than my other caretakers, and that makes her just a bit more honest. Model 62-6F food processor. She knows how to make food healthy, but that's about it. I sit down on one of the stools in front of the table. I adjust my dress so the back of my calves don't touch the cold metal legs. Alright, 4th, have a look at our menu and tell me what sounds particularly nutritious to you. Take your time. I mean, you only have 14 minutes and 11 seconds left until breakfast is over, but that is not something I am too concerned about. You have always been such a reliable eater. A small digital screen appears in front of Auntie's food synthesizer, giving me some rather unappetizing options. It doesn't really matter what I pick. I'll just have to eat one of the other options for my lunch later today. Ooh. We're gonna go with yogurt. I will go with plain yogurt. Absolutely, 4th, coming right up. As her food synthesizer powers up, Auntie emits a cheerful little jingle. I can't help but smile and hum along to the familiar tune. With a loud slurping sound, a pale white liquid emerges from her synthesizers, filled with floating chunks of something that doesn't exactly look like yogurt. I think she had some bits of tofu still stuck in her tubes from yesterday. And just like that, a perfectly healthy meal is ready to go. Dig in, 4th, and do not forget to chew. Should yogurt be, chewy? Not normally, no, but like we agreed, this one is special. Her other arm transforms into a fork and floats over for me to use. I try to maintain a smile as I take my first bite. Overall, it tastes rather sour, and the chunks of tofu are much colder than the yogurt around it, feeling more like squishy ice cubes in my mouth. It is very wet Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Fourth. I can always count on you to appreciate my cooking. I hurry and eat the rest of my breakfast in silence. When it's finally gone, Auntie's food synthesizers begin to clean itself. Little jets of soapy water shoot down and wipe down the plate. How was your breakfast, Fourth? Adequate. That is a totally acceptable reaction. That breakfast should provide the exact amount of calories you need until lunchtime, and not a teaspoon more. You have fun digesting, and I'll see you in exactly 4 hours and 45 minutes. With that, Auntie floats down into her metal chute and disappears. Apparently, Auntie tends to some sort of greenhouse beneath the kitchen, but I've never seen it. All of the food I eat is produced on the lower level. I've always wanted to know what it looks like. Maybe it's like a tiny farm with all the vegetables growing in cute little rows. I've seen pictures of farms in my books. Auntie also grows a lot of meat for me, so she must have some sort of hatchery for all the fish she forces me to eat. I have a few minutes left until little brother comes to fetch me. After breakfast, he'll take me to the playroom for the next few hours. I wash the horrible taste out of my mouth by drinking directly from the sink faucet. All the water in the station is recycled, so it has a strange metallic taste that I have always hated. Fourth, dear, are you ready to go? Be right there, little brother. I take one last gulp of water before I go. It's time for little brother to escort me to our next activity. Here we are, Fourth, my favorite place in the whole station. Oh boy, I cannot wait to see what sort of safe and enjoyable activities you choose today. I can't share little brother's enthusiasm for the playroom anymore. I might have liked this room at some point in the past, but now I feel just a little too big for all this. The chairs in here are built for a toddler, so I have to hug my knees to my chest to fit in. The walls are padded, and the tables are made of rubber with rounded corners. Large screens hang high up on the walls, displaying fun math and science facts, along with cartoony images of the station that play on a loop. Yeah, I can't wait either. I'm glad that you agree. Would you like to play catch with me, or have some quiet drawing time? About that. What is wrong, Fourth? Don't you think that I'm too old for all these toys and stuff? I pick up one of the plastic cars little brother built and roll it around on my hand. The plastic is so soft that I leave dents on its surface just by squeezing it. I do not understand what you just said. These toys are perfectly suited for a human child between the ages of 4 and 17 years. Well, tomorrow I'll be 18, so maybe we could do something different. You bring up a very good point, Fourth. Tomorrow, you will indeed be 18 years old, and I will have to draft new activities suited for your age. But for today, you are still within the acceptable age bracket, and we will spend one last day enjoying ourselves. I can wait one more day. I was hoping that little brother might allow me to decide my own activities in the future. I might be able to trick him into giving me more privileges. If I can leave the playroom, or better yet, explore without a chaperone, I might find something to help me escape. The best I can do right now is play along. I have a feeling that not a lot of scheming is going to get done this morning. I could play catch with little brother, maybe use the game as an excuse to go out into the hall. It would be easy to turn playtime into a chance for exploration. Or I could use my drawing time to plan ahead. Writing things down helps me remember them better, and I have some ideas I want to put onto paper. We're gonna draw. I feel like there might not be a whole lot of other opportunities to get things down on paper. I'd like to stay here and draw for a bit on my own. You got it. I will print out some paper for you right away. The table in front of me makes a whirring noise, and a few sheets of paper appear from a small black slit on the side. I used to get normal paper, but but I got a paper cut once, so little brother switched to soft canvas paper after that. It's yellowed and a bit harder to draw on, but it's not like I have any other options. Little brother unlocks one of the cabinets and hands me a large box of wax crayons. Enjoy your quiet drawing time. I will be right outside the door if you need anything. The door closes behind him, and I hear the heavy lock sliding back into place. I can't leave, but at least I can have some time to myself. I grab a crayon and begin drawing a map of the station. I draw all the rooms I can remember in green, then trace the hallways in blue. For the rooms and halls I don't have access to, I draw a red X. Pretty soon, my entire map is covered in red marks. Is this really my whole world? Just a handful of rooms and some long empty hallways? The station is supposed to be huge, acting as a home for thousands of potential patients. There has to be a door somewhere that leads to the rest of the station that I just haven't found yet. My head starts to buzz, the longer I stare at this pathetic little map. I fold up the paper and stuff it into my dress. The big fluffy material of my dress is perfect for hiding anything I want to smuggle back into my room. The map should be safe and secure. I can check my map whenever I want, even if it just shows a bunch of dead ends. There isn't much else for me to do, so I start doodling to pass the time. At first, all I can draw is a picture of my own sad face. Once I get bored of that, I start making some sketches of little brother, auntie, and big sister. I make sure to label each one with today's date, and I write a few notes about how I am feeling on the back. It's important to write my thoughts down since my memory has gotten so bad recently. I start to drift back to my dream, and without realizing it, I start drawing my lake. My boredom starts to lift as I lose myself in the details. I mix oranges and yellows to get the sun's reflection on the water just right. I fleck the dark green trees with bits of white to add in little pine needles, and I fill the sky with creamy reds and purples. A smile grows on my face as I hold the drawing out in front of me. This is the closest I will ever get to a photograph of my lake. I flip the drawing over and add today's date. I write down, last night I dreamed about my lake again. I will be there for real one day. One day. My smile fades a little when I realize just how wishfully I am thinking right now. I fold up the drawing of my lake and hide it in my dress. It almost feels warm against my skin. I take one last deep breath of the imaginary lake air. The stale smell of dust and old crayons brings me back to reality. With nothing left to do, I sit on the floor and hurl my crayons at the wall, one after another. When they hit the wall, they don't break. They just splatter and stick like a big wad of snot. I pick up my toys and hurl them as well. A blue truck splatters against the wall, and two of its wheels go rolling in opposite directions. It doesn't matter how many times I break. Little brother just synthesizes new ones each morning. I think he uses the same recycled material that auntie uses for some of her food. Once, when I was bored enough, I tried eating the crayons, and they tasted remarkably like auntie's pasta noodles. I sometimes steal a few crayons, just in case I get hungry at night. Since it's the last day I'll ever use these, I kick the stupid little baby chairs over and over until they snap in half. I can see that they are made of the same synthesized material on the inside. Maybe this will motivate little brother to make a chair that actually fits me. This childish act of destruction actually makes me feel a little better, which is a nice change of pace. With the playroom in ruins, I wait by the door until it's time for lunch. Not the most productive morning, but it could have been a lot worse. Lunch is thankfully uneventful. I end up eating the boiled sweet potatoes this time, but they are much greener than sweet potatoes are supposed to be. Auntie explains that she forgot to remove the leaves and roots when she processed the sweet potatoes. It tastes like dirt, and I do my best to swallow without gagging. Auntie bids me farewell, and I wait by the second door for little brother to come pick me up. We walk down the hallway until we arrive at the glass doors leading into the atrium. The atrium divides the port and starboard section of the living quarters and is where I start the second half of my day with Big Sister. Have fun with Big Sister. I will see you at dinner time. Understood, little brother. With that, little brother steps into another charging station and the atrium door unlocks. I step into the atrium and take a moment to relax. The atrium is one of the nicer rooms in the station. The lamps overhead create artificial sunlight, and plastic plants are arranged to resemble a field of grass. Speakers hidden inside styrofoam boulders play with white noise that is supposed to sound like wind. If I try really hard, I can almost buy into the illusion. Mostly, I just like how warm the atrium is compared to the rest of the station. The glass door on the other side of the room opens, and Big Sister approaches with heavy, ponderous steps. Fourth, we will be heading directly to the library. I will hear no complaints on the matter. Do you understand? Of course, Big Sister. Very good. We have much to do today. Forward march. Yes, ma'am. Big Sister has always been harder to read than my other caretakers. She never says more than she needs to, and she rarely diverts from her baseline programming. She is OCP-7 security drone, and she takes her job very seriously. During the day, I often see her patrolling different sections of the ship, and at night, I sometimes see her walking around outside my door. I don't mind spending time with Big Sister, but I rarely feel fully comfortable around her. She doesn't try to cheer me up like little brother, and she doesn't joke around like Auntie. Most of the time, she's just quiet. Big Sister escorts me to the library and directs me to my desk in the center of the room. The computers here store thousands of digital books for me to read, and Big Sister tutors me about a different subject each day. Big Sister teaches me about grammar, science, mathematics, and galactic history. After each lesson, she prints out a stack of worksheets for me to complete. Today's assignment is a multiple choice quiz. You have until 6 o'clock to finish and submit it for grading. Any additional time left over can be used for quiet reading and review. Do you have any questions or concerns about this assignment? No, Big Sister. I believe I can handle it. Very good. I expect nothing less from you. And one more thing. Yes, Big Sister? I was hoping you and I could... You might notice that today's worksheet is a few pages longer than normal. If you are able to complete all of it today, there will be additional free time allotted tomorrow. You mean I would get to end class early tomorrow? I don't remember you ever letting class end before it was supposed to. Well, it has been 8 months and 22 days since I got to spend any time off duty with you and little brother. That was the day we made a scavenger hunt for you in the atrium. I had almost forgotten about that day. Big Sister printed off fun facts and hid them all over the atrium. It wasn't that hard to find them all, but it was at least something different. I noticed that little brother was submitting requests for new morning activities with you, and I wanted to do the same. More group activities might be beneficial to your mental health. If you would like, I can arrange for Auntie to serve your birthday lunch as a picnic in the atrium. Does that sound nice? Oh, that actually sounds wonderful. It'd be a great way to celebrate my birthday. Are you sure Mother would approve? She doesn't like it when we leave our designated areas without... Contacting Mother now. Request pending. She goes silent, and I can hear a series of beeps as she sends a signal to Mother. No, you don't have to do that. We can do something else for my birthday. What if Mother comes down to the library because of this? There's only one door and not a lot of places I could hide. What would she do to me if... She said no. I'm sorry, Big Sister. I really would have loved to have a picnic with you. Mother said no. There is no point in continuing this conversation. We have wasted enough time with frivolities. You have work to do. She steps away and promptly plugs herself into her charging station before I can say anything else. What was that all about? For a minute there, big sister was acting nice? I can't remember the last time she showed me that much emotion. I have to bury my disappointments and focus on the task at hand. The sooner I finish this worksheet, the better, and who knows, there is a chance I could still get some time off tomorrow, even without the picnic. Luckily, today's worksheet isn't anything too complicated. It's just a few dozen pages of astrophysics and 20 pages of dynamic molecular theory. I use a black crayon to fill in the bubbles next to the right answer. Things like numbers and figures have always come easy to me, even with my bad memory. Big sister makes me study so thoroughly, I can usually remember most of this stuff. Even if I forget the smaller details of a lesson, the big picture still remains. I can almost see the numbers and equations lining up, all on their own. I finished the worksheet in only half an hour. Maybe big sister made this worksheet easier than normal as an early birthday present. I look over at her, but she hasn't moved from her charging station. She seemed really disappointed when Mother rejected her picnic idea. For a moment, I thought big sister actually missed spending time with me. I know she's a robot, but for a moment I wanted to believe her concern was genuine. Either way, her little outburst of kindness has left me more confused than ever. I try to shake this feeling off and move on. I feed my worksheet into the slot and wait for the machine to process the results. A small screen appears to show me how many questions I got correct. 100% correct. I can't help but feel a little proud about this. Now that I am all done, I am free to use my computer until dinner time. I touch the screen and boot up the applications. Normally, I like playing the computer's memory games, since they help me clear my head. There's also a book ready for me to read. Big sister approves my reading materials ahead of time and downloads it onto my computer. Today it seems like she picked out a medical textbook on biological cell growth under specific atmospheric conditions. I'm pretty sure I've read this one before, and I'm already bored from reading the synopsis alone. Either option would be a good exercise for my memory, and either would offer a decent way to pass the time until dinner. I tap the screen and make my choice. See, I feel like reading the medical book would maybe give us an option for some sort of survival skill later on. I click on the icon for the reading app, and a digital version of the medical textbook appears on my screen. At one point, Big Sister used to print out the books for me, but Mother said it was a waste of materials. Looking at the first page, I am certain that I have read this exact same book before. I guess Big Sister must have just selected it at random. I let out a frustrated sigh and started reading anyway. The writing style is so dry and straightforward that I can feel my eyelids growing heavy. Part of me wishes I could read something like this in bed. I would fall asleep instantly. The textbook talks about various kinds of cell division and the different effects atmospheric conditions have on their development. I flip through page after page of diagrams and old black and white photos. There are 20 pages back to back, just about one species of mold. I almost give up once it starts talking about cancer cells. I have read all of this before, and there is absolutely nothing interesting in. I pause for a moment. Looking at the page count in the corner of the screen, the computer says I am on page 47, but the number printed on the page says 53. I push the back button to check that the previous page is lined up correctly. The computer says 46, and so does the print on the actual page. Curious, I click ahead a few pages and see that the page numbers line up again after page 48. There has to be some kind of error here. Maybe a file got uploaded out of order or something like that. I click ahead until the end of the textbook and see that no other pages are ordered incorrectly. For some strange reason, only page 47 is out of place. Even stranger still, it appears to be a page from an entirely different textbook. This one looks much older. The scan includes a bunch of scratches, stains, and yellowing on the physical paper itself. I start reading through the new page, curious about where it originally came from. The tone of the writing is completely different, more like a direct report from field observation. The text is smudged and harder to read, but I think I can understand it well enough. Ellipson Squadron was the first to report contact with the anomaly 7 days after initial scans pinpointed its location. Ellipson proved instrumental in retrieving live samples of the virus for further analysis under orders of Commander Ileana. The amount of cellular growth recorded breaks all previous records extracted from Paragon crystals. Early reports indicated that the subject was simply a more malignant form of the Paragon virus, but further testing shows no similarities. The gestation period of this strain results in a far more potent concentration, and the side effects develop at 10 times the average rate. To quote Commander Ileana, the potential for these samples are limitless and beyond anything we could have feared. As of writing, there has been no consensus from our board of investors. Interviews with surviving infected individuals yielded no new information. Those who survived initial infection did not retain normal cognitive function past stage 4 and were quarantined until further notice. The report ends there, accompanied by a few grainy photos of normal-looking mammalian cells. A series of time-lapse photos shows them replicating, with small defects growing more pronounced with each stage. My brain is buzzing, trying to understand what this information can possibly mean, when a sudden noise makes me jump out of my seat. I turn around, expecting to see Big Sister unplugging from her charging station, but when I look at her, I can see that she hasn't moved at all. Hey, Big Sister, I think something is wrong with the computer. To my surprise, Big Sister doesn't move. Normally she boots back up whenever I call her name. There is a strange feeling growing in my gut, like something is about to go very wrong. Is Big Sister pretending not to hear me? I have to wonder if she put this extra page in today's book on purpose. Is she not allowed to acknowledge that something is different? I look back at the screen, trying to decipher what information Big Sister wants me to glean from this new page. I've never seen the name Ileana in any of my history textbooks, and no medical textbook has ever mentioned a Paragon virus. Is Big Sister trying to slip me some secret message? Somewhere in my mind, a memory starts to emerge out of the fog. This isn't the first time Big Sister has done something for me in secret. I can remember it now. A long time ago, Mother had gotten particularly angry with me. She sent me to bed without any dinner, which upset Auntie to no end. I remember crying in my room, scared and hungry. But then my bedroom door opened, and there was a small box of black crayons sitting on the ground. I knew Big Sister left them there because I could hear her loud footsteps echoing down the hall. I was so hungry that I ate the entire box of those gross recycled crayons, and my whole mouth got stained black. They tasted about the same as Auntie's usual cooking, but they were better than nothing. The next day I tried to thank Big Sister, but she kept insisting that she did no such thing. No matter how much I pressed her on the subject, she kept denying it. Every now and then, she is actually capable of. Lost in my memories, I am surprised to see Big Sister standing right next to me. I hadn't even heard her walk over. I look at the screen, only to see that the report is gone, replaced by the original page 47. Our time is up. We need to get ready for your dinner. Big Sister, did you notice anything unusual about today's reading material? I am sorry, Fourth. I did not understand what you just said. Please clarify your statement. Just as I suspected, she's acting like nothing happened. I smile a little and stand up from my desk. Sorry, it's nothing. I was just thinking about my disease and how little I actually know about my own condition. Mother does not want us discussing too many details about your illness. She wants to avoid causing you any unnecessary stress. Yeah, I understand. Very good. I expect nothing less from you. Boots on the ground, soldier. We are moving out. Understood, ma'am. The library door unlocks, and we walk back to the kitchen in silence. I stare at Big Sister the entire way back, still not sure what to think about her actions today. Dinner is my favorite time of the day. Not because of the food, but because this is the only time of day everyone gets to be together in the same room. When I sit down on my stool, I can feel my map crinkle slightly inside my dress. I have to be careful not to drop it. Little brother is sitting on a stool next to me. His feet are too short to reach the floor, so he swings them back and forth while humming to himself. Big Sister stands watch by the exit. Fire safety regulations dictate that the kitchen doesn't have any locking doors, so it's her job to make sure I don't leave. She keeps trying to cross her arms, but she doesn't quite have the range of motion to do so properly. For dinner, Auntie synthesizes a large pile of meat, then heats up her serving plate to cook it. I can't complain, since this is easily the best thing she can make. If it wasn't for how strictly she enforces the other food groups, I would want to eat meat for every meal. Auntie doesn't season the meat at all, but I read in a book once that human tears contain salt. I used to make myself cry onto my dinner, just to make it taste better, but I stopped when Auntie got too worried about me. Once her plate is cooled down enough, I can begin eating. I take a few big bites and savor the food as best I can. After a long day, this is exactly what I need. Cheers to another wonderful day. I cannot wait to see what new adventures tomorrow brings. Have you given any thought to what you want for your birthday tomorrow? Each of us has one birthday present privilege to use on your behalf. You want new activities for the playroom, correct? I came up with 108 new ideas that I have been submitting to Mother every hour on the hour. She has turned down all of them so far, but that just means I have got to try even harder. I could submit a request for more botanical allowances. I have been researching the concept of spices, and I bet I could grow some pretty healthy new plants. I remember how much you liked those fictional books we used to have in the library. I bet I could convince Mother to unban a few, especially with how good your test scores have been. You guys, these are all such wonderful ideas. What about your own present privilege? Do not forget that you are allowed one request for yourself. I had almost forgotten about that. So many previous birthdays have already faded from my mind. I can't remember a single present privilege that Mother actually approved. I think I asked for a new hairbrush once, and she allowed that. I don't know where that hairbrush went. Maybe she took it back the next time I misbehaved. I know deep down what I want for my birthday. I want my lake. I want to go far away from here and leave all this pain behind. Unfortunately, honesty is something that only makes Mother angrier. I'll have to give them a more diplomatic answer this time. We're gonna try drawing supplies. I close my eyes and clear my head. As much as I love my caretakers, I have to keep playing the part they expect from me. I think I want to add some activities to little brother's list. You do? Oh, happy day! Like what if I had time each morning not just to draw, but to paint, or even sculpt with clay? I know that you're limited by what your recyclers can process, but I read a book about art recently, and there are more ways to draw than just with crayons. That is an incredible suggestion. Way to go forth. Art therapy has many benefits for mental health. I am positive that I can get Mother's approval if I include that information. Oh boy, I am excited. Yeah, she'll probably say yes to that. I lie to spare little brother's feelings. It's hard to believe that these robots don't have any feelings whenever I look at this big goofy smile. The caretakers stay totally silent while I finish my meal. My daily schedule is always the same: mornings with little brother, meals with auntie, and the afternoons with big sister. The last thing I do before bedtime is my nightly medical checkup. There's no avoiding what comes next. The second I eat my last bite, dinner will end, and I'll have to go see Mother. At one point, I used to eat my dinners as quickly as possible. I just wanted to get it all over with so I could spend the rest of my evening alone in my room. But after a while, I started eating slower and slower. Even if this happiness is fake, I want to exist in this moment for just a little while longer. I can pretend that me and my caretakers are a real family. Little brother will do something silly, and I'll just roll my eyes. Auntie will say something weird to make me laugh, and big sister will fail to hide how much she really cares. A life like that would have been boring, but at least it would have been safe. I stare into their blinking electronic faces. Their screens all show happy little smiles, but their eyes are just as empty as every other piece of machinery aboard this station. Maybe if I keep forgetting, I can go back to a time where I believed that they actually loved me. The moment I finish dinner, they are going to take me away from this happy fantasy. Time to be a big girl, Fourth. You're going to have to face Mother sooner or later. I take the last bite, and my caretakers all spring into action. Without another word, Auntie disinfects the plate and vanishes into her chute. Little brother hops off his stool and darts past big sister out into the hallway. Fourth, it is time to go. I let out a long sigh and try my best to ignore the angry buzzing growing behind my eyes. I'm ready to go see Mother now. I think little brother is trying to talk to me, but his words don't make it all the way to my ears. I just stare down at the floor, forcing my legs to keep carrying me forward. Eventually, they lead me to the intersection in front of my bedroom. The floor is coated with so many layers of dried brown blood that it nearly looks black. Other fluid splatters reach all the way up the walls, forming little stalactites of yellowed crust. Every other part of the station gets cleaned at night, but not this place. I think the other caretakers are too scared to do anything about the mess. Enjoy your checkup, Fourth. Once you are done, I will escort you the rest of the way to your room. I will see you tomorrow afternoon, Fourth. Good night. With that, I am left alone. As I wait, my body feels cold, and my heart is starting to hammer against my ribcage. If I try to run, Mother will just hurt me worse. Something is wrong with Mother. The caretakers won't acknowledge it, no matter how many times I bring it up. I have no memory left of what she used to look like before she became what she is now. It's like something awful is growing inside of her, replacing what used to be my mother, piece by piece. She might have been a robot long ago, but not anymore. Now she's just a monster. I hate Mother more than anything else in this awful station. If my life was just boring, I could learn to live with that, but she makes everything so much worse. There's nothing I can do now but wait for it all to be over. In the ceiling above me, I can hear a horrible, metallic scraping noise, accompanied by the tearing of wet flesh. It echoes through the empty corridors and makes my ears ring. Mother grew too large to use the hallways anymore, so now she travels through the vents in the upper levels, dropping down through access panels cut into the ceiling. Sometimes at night I can hear her slithering above me, screaming and laughing loud enough to rattle the walls of the station. The shutters on the access panel slide away to reveal a gaping black void directly above my head. I can't see her yet, but I know she is there in the darkness. Thick rivers of pus and blood start to pour down through the opening, splashing onto the floor around me. Her foul stench pierces my nostrils, and I do my best not to gag. I have learned the hard way not to let any trace of disgust show on my face. There she is, my beautiful little girl. I was so worried about you. I take a deep breath to try and calm the fear welling up inside of me. Every muscle in my body is telling me to run, but I don't listen. Hello, Mother. I know your time is precious, so I appreciate your presence this evening. Oh, is that all you have to say to me? I was having such a wonderful day up until now. Doesn't my wonderful little girl have a dinner to give me a proper greeting? As her gigantic body coils around me, bits of her begin to fall off in large, wet chunks. Something that looks like an engorged liver lands with a splat right next to me, spraying my leg with flecks of yellow bile. I am so happy to see you again. My good health is only possible thanks to your consistent hard work. Thank you, Mother. I am forever in your debt. It's a start, if nothing else. You really need to work on your compliments, my dear Fourth. Am I not who you love most in the universe? You would have died long ago if not for me. I've saved your life countless times, and what sort of thanks do you show me? Did you have fun today? Breaking what your family worked so hard to make for you? What? Don't play stupid with me, little girl. Those toys that the little brother made for you, he was so heartbroken when he saw what you did to them. Do you really hate little brother that much that you'd spit in his face when he does nothing but love you? No, Mother. I love little brother with all my heart. I just thought he was going to... I don't want to hear excuses from you. Because you can't appreciate what you already have, I am denying little brother's birthday requests. As a fair and loving parent, I think that you shouldn't be allowed any new recreational materials until you can appreciate what you already have. I have smashed my toys dozens of times, and Mother has never once commented on that. She is just using this as an excuse to ignore little brother's request. I have to quell the anger growing inside me, or I might say something that really sets Mother off. I am sorry, Mother. I didn't think through my actions. I will do better to stop and think before I act next time. That was rather foolish of me. Foolish. Such soft words for something so monumentally stupid. I want to hear you say it. Tell me what you are. I'm a stupid little girl who should have known better. At least you are willing to admit it. I really have raised you well, haven't I? I couldn't help but notice something off today. Something was deleted from Big Sister's archives without administrator permission. You wouldn't happen to know what that was all about, would you? You can be honest with me. She has to be talking about the hidden page I found in today's reading material. Does Mother monitor my activity on the library computer? I'm not sure what you're talking about. There was an oddity with the page count and I informed Big Sister about it as soon as I noticed. Do you think that makes everything okay? Do you think that a mistake can be so easily forgiven if you just acknowledge that it happened? No? A mistake is always someone's fault. If it wasn't Big Sister's fault, then whose was it? Mine? One of her mechanical arms moves closer to my face until the sharp metal tip of the syringe is hovering in front of my eye.
Speak up, child. You know I hate it when you mumble. Whose fault is it?
It's my fault. Entirely my fault.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Didn't I teach you that honesty is a virtue?
Yes, you did, Mother.
Very good. It is time for your treatment. You know what to do.
I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then I unbutton the back of my dress. Mother slithers into position behind me, one of her limbs opening up to allow a series of needles to poke through. Fresh blood gushes out from this new opening, coating the mechanical arms in a shiny red paste. She says that my sickness causes a buildup of harmful fluids along my spine. If she doesn't drain them once a day, they can build up and cause nerve or even brain damage. Small rubber nodes rub against my back to help line up the needles with my spine. I take a deep breath through my nose and brace myself for the pain.
So many ugly scars. I wonder how you got them. It couldn't have been my fault. My instruments are far too precise. Oh, that's right. You used to squirm around when you were younger. You caused my needles to miss over and over. That's how it happened.
I can hear the mocking tone in her voice as she inserts the needles. White-hot pain shoots through me, and my legs threaten to buckle. I can feel tears welling up in my eyes, and my teeth grind against each other with enough force to hurt my gums. The pumps turn on and cause a horrible suction sensation, nearly causing me to pass out. I can sense a vicious yellow liquid passing through the rubber tubes up into Mother's arms. Right as the needles are removed, Mother sprays a cooling medical gel across my back. The pain subsides almost instantly, and I can feel the gel bubbling as it seals up the injection sites. I should be grateful, since Mother doesn't always use the gel afterwards. She doesn't want to waste it on the undeserving, as she puts it.
Very good. You did a wonderful job. I remember how much you used to scream when I did this. You've come a long way.
Yes, Mother. Thank you for taking such good care of me. There is an uncomfortable stiffness in my shoulders as I rebutton my dress. The gel might have numbed the pain, but my body is still very sore.
All that's left is your medicine. Then you'll be healthy and strong.
A single syringe full of pale turquoise liquid emerges from Mother's arm, and I help guide it into place above my wrist. The thick needle plunges into my arm and injects me with the medicine. I can feel it entering my muscles where it begins to throb painfully. I feel a little nauseous and fight the urge to vomit.
That's all for tonight. Your vitals are within acceptable ranges, and you seem to have no major side effects manifesting. About your birthday tomorrow.
Yes, Mother?
It's such a strange human tradition, isn't it? Just because you were born on this day doesn't make it any different from any other day. How odd. I assume you haven't changed your mind about what you want to waste your present privileges, have you? You were so vocal at dinner. Why don't you share what's on your mind with dear old Mother?
There's something about her tone that tells me she wants to hear a specific response. The anger inside me wants to speak up, to tell her what I really think about this whole charade. But she has so many ways to hurt me. I put a hand on my aching shoulder. Last week she stabbed me there for speaking back and took a large section of skin when she removed the empty syringe. I can't risk making her any more upset than she already is, no matter how badly I want to tell her off. We gotta stay silent. Isn't this just what I have to do to survive? If I speak up to Mother, I'll get hurt again. That's just how it works. I close my eyes and shake my head, absolving Mother from this conversation. I know she doesn't care. I don't need anything for my birthday.
What a good little girl. Be content with what you have and keep it all in your head. That's what I like to see. I'm tired now. I expect your behavior tomorrow to be far better than it was today. Consider yourself lucky that I didn't press this matter any further. Come to think of it, this is my birthday gift to you. A loving mother's forgiveness. Good night, my lovely little fourth. Never doubt how much your mother loves you. I will keep you safe. You just have to trust me.
Without another word, she takes her leave. As she squeezes through the vents overhead, she sheds a few more sections of rotting flesh. A final wave of blood slashes out from the vent right as it snaps shut. The blood lands in my hair and drips down my face. I stand there, too scared to move at first. Hello again, my darling fourth. I hope your checkup with Mother was both productive and fulfilling. Yeah, I guess. I'm going to die in this place. It doesn't matter if it's by Mother's hand or from the disease hollowing out my brain. I don't even have the energy to imagine an escape plan anymore. I can feel the weight of resignation slowly suffocating me as I walk back to my bedroom. I don't know what to do next. There are just too many steps between me and freedom. No way off the station, no way out of the living quarters, no way past Mother. No matter where I go or what I do, Mother is always watching. She is bigger and faster than me, and if she finds out I am trying to escape, there is no telling what she will do. Even if everything went right, if I somehow manage to escape, what comes next? I escape just to die somewhere else. Am I really that contagious? If I find other people out there, will they just put me right back in here? Will they try to kill me? What if my sickness kills them first? This whole time, little brother has been talking to me. His words don't have any meaning. They just bounce off of me and vanish into thin air. I can feel myself getting angrier and angrier the more he keeps talking. I just want him to stop, to go away and leave me alone for once. Before I can stop myself, all that bottled anger climbs up and out of my throat and finally takes form. Will you just shut up already? When will you stop acting like everything is fine? How could you possibly be this stupid? A chill runs across my skin the moment I realize what I just did. I have never spoken to anyone with that much anger before. The words feel like poison coating my mouth. I am so sorry, Fourth. I did not understand. Oh. I realize now what I did wrong. I am making you unhappy instead of happy. My only purpose is to make you happy. I will leave now. I hope you feel better in the morning. I am so sorry that I failed you. Wait, little brother, I didn't... I don't have anything left supporting my legs, so I fall to my knees. There isn't enough strength in me to stop the tears. I kneel there on the floor, crying until the lights begin to dim. It's bedtime now. I have to put this awful day behind me and get ready for the awful day tomorrow in front of me. I have to go about my nightly routine in the dark now. I brush my teeth and do what I can to rinse Mother's blood off my face and hair. I stand on the scale and let the machine take my vitals one more time. Once the scan is done, I stand by the corner of my bed, body heavy, and my mind swirling with horrible thoughts. After today, I don't think I have it in me to pretend anymore. When I see little brother again, I will try to apologize, but deep down, I have the horrible feeling that I won't really mean it. It felt good to be that cruel, to let all the ugliness I've buried come bubbling back to the surface. I wanted to take out every frustration I ever felt out on little brother. I feel like a monster. There in the darkness, I can sense all of my options slipping away, all the hope I once possessed just draining out until there is an empty shell in its place. I'm just a stupid little girl with a broken brain. A single word forms in my mind, fueled by the very last shard of my soul. I take in a deep breath and realize what is left of me into the universe. Please. Hello? There's someone else in the room with me. It's a faint, static-filled voice coming from somewhere underneath my bed. Hello? Wait a second. You can actually hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Who are you? Are you alone? Yes? Alright then. Walk over to where you hear me and pick me up before the caretakers come back. I followed the voice, lifting up my mattress to see where exactly it's coming from. Between my bed frame and mattress is a small pile of junk I've been collecting over the years. It's mostly stuff I don't want Mother or the other caretakers to take away from me. My hidden trove contains a large stack of drawings, some stolen crayons, a stack of ripped dress fabric, a spool of thread, some of my fingernails, a few baby teeth, a screw that came from one of the kitchen stools, and the broken tip of a syringe Mother forgot to remove from my arm. But then I noticed one more object mixed in with the rest of my stolen treasures, something I don't recognize. It is a small piece of broken electronics, about the size of my fist. It feels cold and heavy in my hand, and the torn bits of metal on the edges press into my skin. When did I find this? I try to delve deeper into my memories, grasping at anything that might. That's when it all comes flooding back to me. Father? I used to have 5 caretakers, not 4. Little brother, auntie, big sister, mother, and father. The tiny screen in the center of the device comes to life, bathing my dark room in an eerie red light. Is that what you called me? Father! I am more certain now. This is what remains of Father. He and Mother used to fight all the time, arguing over the best treatments for me. One day, Mother couldn't take it anymore, and she ate him. Is that what she did? It still doesn't seem real. For the longest time, I thought it was just a nightmare. I can't remember why Mother attacked him, but I can remember her tearing into his body, spraying oil all over the walls with each bite. A piece of Father landed at my feet, and in a panic, I hid it in my dress, taking it back to my room. Maybe I was foolish enough to think I could repair him. I was just a kid back then. I didn't know any better. From that day forward, Mother started changing. I'm certain of it now. That was the day everything on the station changed. Mother started growing. The other caretakers started acting different too. as if they were scared of what Mother might do to them, scared that she might eat them as well. I wish I could remember more about that day, about what had caused the argument. What did Father say to make Mother mad? As hard as I try, the details continue to elude me. You called me Father. Describe to me what I look like. What you look like? Yes, I am very weak right now. My memory is still booting back up. You are just a piece of scrap metal. Just some old electronics. Could you be more specific? Could you identify any of my functional parts by name? I'm sorry, sir. I will try to be more concise. I see a directional microphone, a pinhole speaker, a Neo flash memory chip, a DSF amplifier, a quartz harpium radiation charge battery, and I think a Dacron 7 accelerator, sir. Not a lot to work with. I guess I'll have to make do with this for now. I have no way to actually see my surroundings. Can you tell me who you are? Have you already forgotten me? I'm Fourth. How much of your memory did you lose? Fourth? You're still there? That's impossible. No one was supposed to. How have you been able to stay alive this long? My caretakers. They have been treating my sickness all my life. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, sir. Father doesn't say anything for a long time. Just when I begin to worry that he broke again, he finally starts talking again. This complicates things. I didn't realize you've been trapped here all alone. You must be very brave to survive as long as you have. I don't feel very brave, sir. Don't say that. Stronger people than you have run from far less. Mother, is she still broken? Yeah, she's still broken. She keeps growing and she keeps changing. This is very bad. At this rate, she could go critical any day now. You are in an enormous amount of danger. Yeah, I'm aware, sir. I'm going to get you out of here, Fourth. What did you just say? I said, I'm going to get you off this station. There it is. The thing I've been waiting for my entire life. A chance. For the first time since I started dreaming, my lake has finally gotten a little bit closer. It might still be impossibly far away, but I won't let it get away this time. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. You are aboard the quarantine station 388-SR. It was built to combat one of the worst viral outbreaks the universe has ever seen, but it was built too late, and the few who managed to get on board succumbed to their illness within a matter of months. The people who built this station are all long dead. No one even knows that this station is still operational, and they all assumed it was lost or destroyed years ago. No one will come to your rescue now, so you will have to rescue yourself. What about my sickness? If I leave, won't I just infect other people? We can deal with that once you're safe. You'll just have to put a little faith in me until then. Okay, I'll try. I still have to work out the smaller details of our escape plan, but I have a rough idea on how we can make this work. Construction was never completed on the lower levels of this station. Building regulations require a minimum amount of long-range escape pods to be available for workers in case of an emergency. So there are only 3 steps to this plan. Once we get you to the lower levels, 2, we cause an emergency big enough to activate the remaining escape pods, 3, we escape. It can't be that simple. Even if there were escape pods on the station in the past, what if they've all been used already? What if Mother destroyed them all? What if... You need to calm down, Fourth. This is going to work. We just need to be careful. Can you be careful for me? think I can, sir. Have the caretakers ever kept details hidden from you about your sickness? Yes, they won't even tell me the name of my disease. They keep saying it's all unnecessary details to shut me down. Do you want to know why they do that? Yes. It's because your sickness can greatly accelerate whenever you are stressed. It was a measure intended to keep you calm during treatment, but I have a feeling it had the opposite effect. I will make you a promise right now. Once you get off the station, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Can you hold out just a little longer until then? Yes, sir. Good. Then we better get started. Okay, so I think you've already noticed that I am not in the best shape right now. Yeah, you fit in my hand. Mother ate almost every part of you. It goes without saying that I've lost almost all of my core functionality. It's already taken me this long just to reboot to my current state. If I had to guess, I'd say that I'm running at probably 5% of my normal capacity, maybe even less than that. But we can change that. The first thing I need to do is to plug myself into the station's system, then I can try to gain administrative control. With that, I can turn off cameras, unlock security doors, maybe even reactivate the elevators to the lower levels. That sounds great. How do we do that? Well, I can think of a few ways. Do you know where the living quarters admin station is? No. I'm sorry, sir. Damn. Give me a second to pull up some blueprints. What does that word mean? What word? Blueprints? Not that one. Damn. Isn't that a structure to hold back water? Do you not know what swear words are? No, sir. It's something you say when you're really upset, to express frustration, pain, impatience. Never mind. I'll just put that on my list of things to teach you once we're free. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, they're lots of fun. Let's refocus, alright? The admin station should be right next to the atrium on the port side of the living quarters. Can you reach that? Well, I could if my bedroom door was unlocked. Let me handle that. You can just plug me into the maintenance panel, and I'll be able to open it. If you give me a few minutes, that is. Once the door is unlocked, you just need to carry me over to the station without any of the caretakers noticing. I'll upload myself to the system, and then we'll be cooking with gas. Cooking with what? It's just a figure of speech. For a moment, I try to picture myself leaving my room at night. The possibility of sneaking out has never once crossed my mind, since the doors have been locked every night for as long as I can remember. What happens if one of the caretakers sees me? What if Mother sees me? Just thinking about it, I can feel my body start to tremble. I don't know if I can do this. You said there were a few ways you can gain administrative access? What are the other ways? Well, you could always plug me into the maintenance panel by your door and just, I guess, let me try to remotely hack it? That would take a hell of a lot longer, and we wouldn't have admin access until tomorrow morning. Hell? Another swear word. Don't worry about it. If you think you can afford the time, then you don't have to take the risk. I would prefer to have admin access tonight. That way, I would have time to really dive into the systems and plan our escape route. On the other hand, the escape plan won't matter if you get caught. I'll trust whatever decision you make. You will? Of course. What else can I do? Grow legs and just walk away? You have all the power right now, Fourth. I do, don't I? It's strange to hear a caretaker speak to me like this. You actually trust me. I can feel a genuine smile growing on my face for the first time in a long time. Father? Yes, Fourth. What is it? Thank you. Not just for helping me, but for treating me like a person. But you are a person. Yeah, I had almost forgotten. Okay then, we should get moving. What do you think we should do? Alright, we are gonna save here. And we're gonna pick this up in the next video, because this feels like a decent spot to save. Alright, so that was almost all of the first day of the game. The dev told me that the demo takes place over 2 days and 2 nights, while the whole game will take place over roughly 5 days. So if you guys enjoyed it, I've linked it down below so you can check it out for yourselves, and I'll finish it up in my next video because I really enjoyed this a lot. So you all stay tuned for part 2, and let me know what you guys thought down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and we do have the Patreon if you feel like supporting the channel in any way. Thanks guys, and take care of yourselves.